I've logged into your Amazon and you've placed 2 orders and that's it. Past 3 months, nothing. Archived orders, there's nothing here.
I have a password book.
You have a literal passbook.
It's physically written in a book.
Taking a wedding dress back to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
After how long?
I think I had it a couple of weeks.
Can we see your Deliveroo account? Can I look at your Deliveroo app? How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to interrupt any of these things as I list them off, okay? You just have to sit there. Welcome along to My Mate Bought a Toaster. Joining me today on my Amazon confessional sofa is the self-professed non-Amazon shopper, Tatty MacLeod.
Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm not going to be very fun. It's not going to be a very long episode.
Well, sometimes people want to skip on and go and listen to the rest is politics. Do you know what I mean? They can jump in here, get a bit of toaster pod.
Is that on after this?
Yeah, that's how it works with podcasts.
Yeah,
it's like a TV channel.
I don't use Amazon. I don't listen to podcasts. I'm the perfect guest for this. Wow. I'm joking. I do listen.
This is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
really huge, really huge. Can I just also say, Tatty, that we have debuted our brand new mic muffs for your episode.
Really?
So, yeah, this is the first time we've used them. They've got the branding of the show on the mic muff, and it's the day that you've come along and said, I don't actually have a Amazon account.
Do you know what they remind me of?
Go on.
Minions.
Yes, it's a minion yellow with My Mate Bought a Toaster.
But that's lovely. It's a good time of year to have a bit Minion themed stuff. Halloween come around the corner.
True. And also, Minions have done well.
They've done incredibly well. I used to have a friend, my friend Constance, because you know it's from a French design company originally, the Minions.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but big French sort of animation company.
Right.
She used to design the hair.
No, the Minions' hair.
Minions' hair.
Sometimes you think, what will be my legacy when I die? What will live on of me? Minions' hair for
Minions'
that person.
hair, exactly. And her children, I suppose. But, you know.
Minions' hair is probably
more important.
Well, I'd say so.
Absolutely.
It'll certainly make more money than her children.
Exactly.
Talking of legacies, my legacy is just nosing through people's Amazon accounts, which could be quite brief for you today, Tatty. But we'll find other things, don't worry. So you don't use it at all, right?
No.
So, yeah, look at this. I can just see there's absolutely nothing. If we go back, there's one order placed in 2017. This is okay. This is something. We've got something here. 2017.
Oh my God.
Yeah, here we go. She's covered her mouth in despair and worry.
2017?
2017, 4th of September 2017. You have bought a 750 gigabyte mobile hard drive.
Wow.
Yeah. How does this item open up a discussion about the real Tatty MacLeod? It's small, but there's a lot in there. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a think about what was I doing in 2017 and why did I buy that?
Yes,
2017. It's, you know, I don't know if everyone does this, but my immediate thought was having to track back through my relationships. Do you know, remembering my life through? I thought, okay, so 2018, that's when I was going out with Ollie. 2017.
Yeah.
I wasn't in I think I was in a relationship with, what was his name?
Don't know.
The guy from Manchester.
Liam, Noel. Don't tell me it was Liam. It was actually Liam.
It's actually Liam.
Was it that Liam?
No. But he did play guitar. Liam.
Well, it's not that Liam in that case.
Oh, Adam.
Adam.
Anyway, so I was going out with Adam, and he bought me a laptop.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's nice. Romantic?
Oh, yeah. Very kind. Very nice guy. Lovely guy.
Do you like a generous lover?
Yeah, doesn't everyone? Don't you like a generous lover?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I wonder if the generosity thing is men feel like it's a masculine thing to display generosity to women. I wonder how much it goes back the other way.
Do you know what? Of all of the sort of feminist battles, that one's not up there for me.
No.
Do you know,
but
just like getting men to stop buying us gifts. That's not high on my agenda.
Crack on.
It's like, I think we can let that one slide. That's okay.
So they can carry on being generous.
They can carry on being generous. I actually don't mind it. I don't even mind it sometimes also when men... I mean, it depends on how far it goes, but I won't say to the guy who... What did he call me? Zimbabwean princess.
Okay.
Because I was born in Zimbabwe. That wasn't just a random pig.
Right, okay.
And then I was like, okay, maybe, you know, that kind of thing of like treating you like a queen.
Yes.
That pedestaling.
Yes.
To an extent. And then that for me was like taking it just a bit too far.
Being called a Zimbabwean princess.
Yeah.
Do buy me a laptop.
But
don't tar me with Mugabe's brush.
Exactly. Don't. I'm a Republican. Have some respect. Do you know what I mean?
Can we just quickly on a side note here then? So born in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And then you grew up in France. Yeah. And now you're in the UK.
I'm in between. I spend a lot of time in Paris.
Oh, do you?
The two. Yeah.
God, how do you decide? Well, I love it when people do. I love time dividers. Every now and again, you see it on the back of a book. You'll see like, I always think of Lee Child, the thriller author. It also says Lee Child divides his time between London and America or whatever. I'm like, what is the bit? When do you go, it's the 2nd of April, so off to Paris for a couple of months?
I mean, that would be the right thing to do if you're someone who's a bit more organised about it. I do it on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So I'm in London this week. I'm going to Paris next week. I'm in Paris for 3 days. I come back to London for 3 days. It depends on work, really.
Okay.
Because I'm sort of like... Well, in France, I would say my career is not as established as it is in the UK, but that's kind of something I'm working on. I'd love to be able to have a career in France and a career in England.
Yes. Would they be slightly different? Would they be the same
different
thing?
languages.
Well, of course. But would they be like, how does your comedy translate in France? Do you have to do a slightly different thing?
Yeah, because I'm perceived differently there.
Go on.
So, well, in England, what's quite funny, I suppose, is because I grew up in France and we have this image of France as being this erudite, very chic, beautiful country where it's like very sophisticated and elegant.
Yes.
I get tarnished with that brush in a positive way. So I come here and it's like, she's a bit French and there's this kind of positive energy around it.
We love the French.
We love the French.
Often pretend not to. We love the French.
We love the French.
Yeah.
I hate and love them. It's kind of that thing where it's like, you know. But in France, I have pink hair and I come from England, so I'm the English woman. And when they think of English people, they think of vulgar, eats too much, a little bit mental, like sort of like a bit over the top, extra, too much, eccentric, the punk movement, Vivienne Westwood.
Out of control, showing off, greedy.
Yeah, crazy.
Don't take our time with stuff, a little bit spontaneous.
Exactly. And also, I came from a part of France when they do go into the nuance of it, you see, and they can, because when I talk about growing up in France and the UK, it's just France.
Right.
You know, so maybe they know Paris, but you can't speak to them about the specifics of coming from Le Morbihan within Brittany. But when I talk about it in France, they know that I'm from the provinces and they know that I'm from this little village in the Morbihan, and they know that I'm from, in France, it's like I'm from the Styx and I'm not from a sexy part of France.
So Brittany's almost like Cornwall, isn't it?
Yes.
Although
but
Cornwall's
it's
quite
not.
sexy.
Yeah, but St Ives is sexy. The coast is sexy, but I'm from like 40 minutes inland from the coast.
Okay.
And so there's this, I'm perceived very differently there.
There's a lot.
So you have to play on that.
But so there's lots of different perceptions of you. Do you like this? Is this...
Well, it's something that I've grown to understand,
Right.
and you have to learn to like it. And the interesting thing is, like, who are you within these different spaces, and how do you stay true to yourself, whatever that is, in the knowledge of how other people are perceiving you?
Yeah.
So I can definitely go to Paris and find myself sort of navigating towards more neutral colours. Just because you're like, oh my God, I get so much more noticed in a way that, like, when you go out in the streets in Paris, it's like, if I might wear something here that might be really like random, as in random, like unnoticeable, like having pale pink hair, like wearing, I don't know, like a slightly colourful puffer jacket, which in East London, it's not going to get you even looked at twice.
No.
You wear the same outfit in Paris and it's going to be like, whoa, eccentric.
But how, so what is the Parisian reaction? Is it verbalised, or is it a sort of cocked eyebrow in your direction? Or a tut?
And it could just be me.
Yeah.
I feel self-conscious.
Right, okay,
You know,
yes,
because
yes.
you're walking around and everyone around you is in neutral colours and looking very chic in a very like classic decontracte kind of way.
Yeah.
And so you yourself, it takes a certain amount. You do have to really connect with your inner confidence and be like, no, this is my wardrobe. This is how I like to dress.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like suddenly start wearing more neutrals because I feel more self-conscious when I step out in Paris, because I feel like I'm more noticeable because I'm dressed more differently to everyone around me.
Yeah.
Whereas in London, you know, a place with like such a history of like the punk movement and generally just, I think there's more eccentricity.
You can do what you
here.
want, though, is what you're saying in London more. Whereas you're more mindful of it when you're in Paris.
I'm more mindful of it. I'm not saying that Paris don't have their like fashionistas, because they obviously do, but it feels like it's an active choice. Like it feels really active to go out in Paris and look different, and it's something you have to actively do, consciously do, and practically like do it as an act of like rebellion. Whereas in London, you can dress eccentrically in a much more passive kind of way.
So if I, as a British person, I'm going to Paris and I can speak a bit of French, and I want them to think that I'm French visually, right?
Yeah, too late. Like immediately, I'm just looking
hang
at
on.
you. Sorry.
I can change these clothes. Let's not. Wait one sec.
So mean, wasn't it?
This is a shell that can be changed, right? This is camouflage. So what I'm saying is, what are the sort of the top 3 tips for someone who wants to go deep and go undercover as a Parisian in Paris? What should they do?
Well, you want to start by wearing neutral colours.
Neutral, okay, good.
So it's like, I always say, if melancholy were a colour, what colour would it be? Wear that. Black, navy, grey.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to go for.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing...
Not beige, though. Interesting.
No.
Okay.
No, not beige.
Okay.
I don't know, just not... It doesn't carry well, beige. It's not a practical colour. That's another tip. Practicality.
Right.
Don't wear anything that's like for fashion purposes.
Right.
So like these oversized puffer jackets that you wear halfway down the shoulder, and you're thinking, well, if it's big and it's a puffer, it should be for warmth. How can it be warm if you're wearing it down to your elbows? So wear everything for practicality purposes. No big logos on anything. No like massive Michael Kors or like big logo or something. And then the second thing is like textures and material. Everything should be natural fibres and good quality at that. So it's about wools, it's about linens, cottons, it's about high quality neutral colour materials. That's what you're looking for with no logos on it.
Don't try too hard.
Don't try too hard.
I'm going to struggle with that. I think they'll know. I think they'll see me and they'll know.
Well, it's like you're just a little bit too friendly. Like the smile. I walked in here, the first thing I said to you was just like, are you a comedian? You're very funny. You made me laugh. You're too bonny. That general sense of like melancholy, I think, to capture, and I know some Parisians would listen to this and be like, oh, it's not very fair, but particularly for Parisians, that cliche is somewhat true, and there is this general kind of, don't be too much, don't smile too much.
So as a people pleaser, I'm going to struggle in Paris.
We are, as English people, very much so. As Brits, we are to Parisians what Americans are to us.
Love that. Okay. So basically, the further west you go, the more you become insane, is what we're saying. We're working this out via the medium of a compass. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, we're north to Paris, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. God.
Sorry.
You ruined that
don't
there.
be pedantic.
God, right, Duke of Edinburgh Award. Meanwhile, back at the show.
Yes.
So, yeah, you've got a WD 750 gigabyte. That's quite a lot, actually. Mobile hard drive. So were you...
I still have that, and I
full yet,
have
or?
no idea what's on it.
I mean, that would be a good spin-off to the show if we just plugged in your random hard drive.
I mean, hell, God, who knows? It's funny that, isn't it? Because that's so the reason why I have that is because I had a Dell laptop. That boyfriend, Adam, bought me a Mac.
Ah.
And
he was trying to change you. You were, Madam. She's
you.
Dell, mate. Don't try and Mac her.
And so I ended up taking everything from my Dell, putting it onto that hard drive.
Yes.
In that way that, how you just upload a load of crap to the cloud and then you're just like, I'm kind of doing it. I compare it to, when you go on holiday but you can't be bothered to pack.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you'll spend more money on getting a massive suitcase to avoid having to choose.
You just throw everything into it.
You can't be bothered
to
think about what you actually want to wear.
So upsetting if I go on a holiday and I come back and there's clothes that I haven't worn. That really bothers me.
Really?
Because I'm like, you folded them, you chose them, you packed them, and you went there. And then here's a question. Do you wash them? Because they've gone in clean. They've been in your suitcase. You don't wash them. They go straight back in the drawer. Okay,
why
good
would
to
you
know.
do that?
Well, because it feels like
they've travelled.
They've been foreign, haven't they? They've been abroad. Got to try and wash the foreign out of them.
Because that's a terrible thing to say.
When it comes to...
What does this podcast become?
Well, we're sort of slightly moving more and more right wing as we get older. No, I'm joking, of course. But I always feel like when I get home, because the clothes have been locked in a suitcase, they need to be washed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. In the bit that I can compare it to like how you want to have 2 showers. Like you can leave somewhere, you have a shower in the morning.
Yes.
Just on the flight, you think like that process. It needs.
Yes.
But no, I definitely wouldn't do that. I wouldn't bother. If I've not worn them, I don't wash them. I don't get upset if I've not worn them.
Okay.
But I wish that I were the kind of person. I know some people, and I watched videos online of people who pre-plan their holiday outfits.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I just think, oh my God, like the level of organisation, I can't do it. And it is organisation. It's headspace and organisation.
Holidays must be different for you, though, because if you're constantly spending your time flipping between Paris and London, right? So you get because all the joy of a holiday is just changing your surroundings, but you're always changing your surroundings.
You're not the first people who's even acknowledged that. I think this all the time and I think about it.
So when you go on a holiday, you're like, it's just it's another place?
Yeah. The other day, and I'm not comparing myself to Zendaya, but anyway.
Wow.
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Is that her name?
Yeah, let's go with that. Sometimes some people say Zendaya, but Zendaya, yeah, who cares?
She was talking on Letterman, and I totally connect to this #we bonded.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't know it, but
She's watching this. She's a fan of the show.
She's a fan.
Yep.
He said, well, how do you like, what do you do in a downtime? Like, how do you relax? And she was like, I do nothing. She was like, I travel so much that when I have time off, the last thing I want to do is go away. Yeah. She was like, for me, time off is spent in one place, my house, in bed, watching shit TV. And I was
with
like,
Spider-Man.
That really, I mean, mine's Tom Holland, but that really related to me because, it's true to say that when I get time off, I like being in one place and I'll usually make the most of it to like stay in my flat or stay in one place. Like that's what I like to do with my time off. I don't have any sense in myself of being like, oh, I really want to travel.
Yeah.
I want to, because
I've never had that travel bug thing. I've never had that desire.
I guess a bit when I was younger, and I suppose it makes more sense if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're in one place, but because I'm on tour and then you're moving around all the time and you're in hotels and it's actually like, I'm exhausted by travel and I like being in one place.
And that is the actual definition of a staycation. That is a proper staycation.
Yeah.
You're literally staying at home and, like you said, lying in bed and just watching telly. Guilt-free. Do you give yourself a hard time for doing it?
Yeah. But that would be the same regardless of what you do that's been self-employed.
Yes.
I don't think there's anyone who's self-employed who can really, because everything is imbued with the fact that you think to yourself, well, I could be working right now.
Yes. And it never ends. There's always something.
And what am I going to do? Put on my emails? I'm off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to put an out of office on.
No.
I have no idea how to even do that.
I once set up an out of office email and it was the first and only time I've ever done this. And I thought, oh, hang on, I've got a Gmail and I've got an iCloud email address. So I put an out of office on both of those emails and I wanted to see if it worked. And I sent one from my Gmail to my iCloud, but I had already put on the out of office on both of them. And then they started going.
Oh my God.
And in the space of about 4 seconds, I basically crashed the internet.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it was like 40 gigabytes of, like a tiny table tennis ball in a space.
That's such a head fuck.
Yeah, so that's the last time I'm ever going to do that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can imagine.
Ironically, I had to stay in my office to fix it for hours afterwards. So don't bother with that. Okay, so we've got.
By the way, rest is really important. I want to say that.
Rest is crucial. It's good for the old MH.
We're not saying rest is really important.
We're not anti-rest.
We're not anti-rest.
Although I am getting quite right-wing weirdly, which I've never done before, Tatty. You're bringing out my inner reform voter. It's got great reviews. It's an excellent hard drive for a modest price from Sean. Was it Sean in Manchester? No, it was
Adam.
Okay. So you transferred all your stuff onto the hard drive and then you went to Mac. Have you stayed with Mac now? Has Adam's legacy lived on?
Yeah, it's lived on.
Okay.
And I've not looked at that hard drive since.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure where it is. I'm not sure what's on there.
No.
And I don't know if I'll ever use it again.
Weird, isn't it?
It really is. It's like just a reassurance of like, it's there in case, and then I'm never going to use it.
We're the first generation we're going to leave this sort of weird digital legacy behind, right? When we car kit, and our kids are going to plug in my hard drive, my Toshiba hard drive from when I was 24.
Yeah.
And it's just got a lot of my headshots on, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
I mean,
like a few attempts at first drafts of like a sitcom. Or like a short film or a sketch. And I couldn't even say what else is on there, but I don't think it's anything great. Like it's stuff which could have been lost.
Do you think we should be buried with them?
Well, tell you what, the other day, no, because now it's not going to be possible because it's basically in the iCloud. But the other day I went to the Mac store to get some stuff fixed because I broke my phone because I left it on the roof of my car and then I drove off. And
oh, good.
Yeah, I know.
That's
great moment.
That's a good one.
It's... Do you know what? You know, you have those moments in your life where like, am I becoming my mum? My mum has done that, not with the phone, because back then we didn't have mobiles, but she used to do it with a handbag.
Yeah.
Leave it on the roof of the car and then drive off. And I did it completely unrelated. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like I thought to myself, ha ha, what a mum thing to do to put my belongings on the roof of the car. Yeah. I just was suddenly like, oh wow, I am my mother.
I think there's a product in making a sticker. Don't leave that here and just sticking it on the roof of all cars. Don't do that. It's not going to end well.
It was so bad. It was like earlier that day, I'd put the roof on the roof of the car. I put my phone on the roof of the car and then thought, oh, fuck, take that off.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was I was at the beach, came off the beach, put it on the roof of my car, put my stuff in the car, sat inside the car and went, oh my God, you've obviously left your phone with your friend. Ugh. left, drove off, went to my friend's house, couldn't find it. What ensued were days of absolute chaos because I wasn't linked into the internet, and that really, because now your phone is your life, and especially for me, does so much on social media. Like, it's not something frivolous anymore. It's like it's your career, it's your work.
Yeah.
And so you end up by losing your phone and not having access to your social media, go into this absolutely like existential tunnel of like, who am I if I lose everything? It like spins you out, and it's so depressing that it has become so pivotal. It's as if your office is burnt down.
Yeah.
You're sort of like, oh my God, like, what am I going to be without this? And then I got a phone call because I did, told the police station that it had been lost, /stolen, God knows what.
Well, you went
and
for
they
it.
were like,
When the police, the police were interested in this, or
I felt like I had to do the due diligence.
was this a beach?
France.
It was in France. Oh, okay, right.
So it was in Brittany, in France. And then I got a phone call. Mary said, oh, it's been dropped off.
Right.
I was like, wow. So I turn up and they hand me over this phone. It's been through the wars. Wow. It looked like it'd been through the front line. Like it was, but it was in front of Germany. Like it had really been through it. Like
smashed.
It was smashed up.
Wow.
Smashed up screen, dented.
Oh God.
And they were like, yeah. A man said he saw it fly off the roof of your car.
He saw it happen.
So he
That's
parked
brilliant.
up and picked up the phone and then handed it in to
He said there was a
Mary.
mad British lady with pink hair. This is what they do.
Can you imagine in front of you, you see this thing flying off? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Flying off the roof of the car.
Yeah.
It's just like, no wonder in France, they're just like, the crazy English woman, she's got pink hair.
Of course.
She needs a phone on the roof of the car.
They do not care. They do not care. Do you think this was an inner Tatty cry for help? You were trying to get rid of your phone to try and unplug yourself. Do you ever feel like it's too much?
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that because I have an annual disaster with my phone. So this year was that phone flying off the roof of my car, breaking, couldn't go online for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I went to Paris. I had to do an interview with the news. It was the BBC because it was over the Olympics, and it was opposite the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah, it's in Paris, of course.
Yeah. In the UN headquarters, they were working off the roof, and I didn't have a phone. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience in a contemporary day, like nowadays, of having to get from A to B without having Google Maps.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's hopeless.
So
if you go and ask a stranger.
I said to my friend who I was staying with, I said, I'm going to walk. It's about an hour walk. I said, but it's a nice day, I'll walk.
Yeah.
I don't like to get in the tube. I'm a bit claustrophobic. I said, I'll walk. And she was like, but you haven't got Google Maps. And I said, I think I'll be okay.
Oh, no, you won't.
I said, it's behind the Eiffel Tower. And I said, the Eiffel Tower is visible from everywhere. And it was like I was in some sort of film. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. I was like, I'll be fine as long as I can keep my eye on the North Star. I'll be able to find it. I was like, I've got a good inner compass.
Wow.
If I can keep on the Eiffel Tower, I'll be fine. She was like, I don't trust it. I was like, then I tell you what I said. I said, just print me off a map. I said, just a little map of Paris.
Old school.
That'll be enough. And so she did. And she said, but I'm also going to print you off directions. Because obviously the map, you're tempted to. You've got this print off map. You want to do this. You want to zoom in with your fingers.
Oh my God.
You can't.
There are times I've got books in my hands and I try and zoom in on books.
All the time. Newspapers, zoom on the photo.
So are you walking around like
map.
a sort of 80s exchange student with a physical map in Paris?
I pulled it out of my bag. And also I was wearing like a very pretty, like classic linen dress. I honestly felt like I was in a film.
Yeah.
It's like a different era.
Yeah.
And at first I did fine because I stayed along La Seine. You stay along the river and you think, I know it's over there. You continue on the river. If you continue on the river, you're going to find it.
Right.
But then my mistake was turning in from the river and starting to go inland.
Got clever.
You don't realise that unless you've got height, you can't see the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Lost sight of it. Just houses. Oh my God. Thank God for her instructions, which I didn't want to take with me. I was like, I'll be fine. I've got a map.
Yeah.
I've got the Eiffel Tower. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was not fine.
How long was it before you had to look at the map?
Oh my God. To be fair to me, it was like, I'm just got my phone on silent.
That's okay.
To be fair to me, it was a good half an hour.
That's pretty good.
Once I left the river, I had to look at the map.
Not bad at all.
But so I went through this little phase where I was like, oh, who am I without my phone?
Yeah.
Reconstruct myself. I mean, it's pathetic, but
especially because your phone has helped you to build your career. You're massive on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, it's changed my life.
Yeah.
It's changed my life. So that was what happened this year. The year before that, I got my phone stolen.
Right.
2022,
How?
2023, Finsbury Park Station. Going to Paris.
Unbelievable.
I had my little handbag. It was like semi-open.
Yeah.
And I had my phone just like plopped inside of it. And obviously someone came up behind me and stole my handbag.
Did you know it had happened?
No. And do you know what? I realised afterwards when I got to the Eurostar, I realised. And what had happened is that, and I know, and there's this like, I'm sounding so privileged and affluent, no one's going to feel sorry for me. It's just going to be like,
Yeah, don't worry about that.
She's on her way to Paris, gets her phone stolen. Good for you. How dare you think you could go to Paris back and forth?
I'll put some sad music under this bit. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
I really looked at prime target. It was Finsbury Park Station.
Yeah.
Through Black Horse Road. That bit's a bit. If you don't know London, you get out of Finsbury Park Station, you're worried. Do you know what I mean?
That is very, very near me, Finsbury Park Station.
Not the side with Gales. The other side.
Yeah, but it's fine. They've got an Asda there now, so it's on the way up.
Is that how we're judging places on
There was
the way up?
There was only one direction.
What?
It could only come up with an Asda. Like, that's how low it was, and Asda is bringing it up. So the side that is facing towards the mosque and Seven Sisters Road, there's a little Asda there now. It's changed it a bit. It's a bit less terrifying when you walk out there.
It's not. It's apart from get your phone nicked there, which has happened now twice. I don't think. I never feel like intimidated. Even I never feel it's not a problem. But I was walking up there. I had wedges on.
Okay.
I had this leather handbag over my bag, a big Longchamp carry-all in the other hand.
Everything you're describing is like it sounds like the credits to Sex and the City. Are you going to get splashed by a random cab at any moment?
Well, that was what happened. So this guy stole my phone, and that was my little, she gets a Manolo stolen.
Yes.
And she's like, no, not the Manolos.
So sad.
But I felt someone get close behind me.
Right. Hello.
And my phone got nicked. So that happened. And then the year before that, I got my phone stolen in Shoreditch. Someone just like, boop, pulled it out my hand.
While you were looking at it, you got a snatch.
I was taking a photo of something.
Oh.
And I had my phone snatched, and that was awful.
Yeah. That's horrible because it was
down
unlocked.
the street after him. Oh, well, I just bought it, and I didn't have it
No.
insured.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. That has got...
£1,200.
Yeah.
It was awful. So every time... Oh, no, that was right. I'd been hacked.
Oh,
In
really?
2023, I got hacked. Yeah.
That's why you're nervous about doing online shopping.
That's why I have. That's
why you
why
don't
I
do
can't.
this.
That's why I couldn't log into the old Amazon account.
So you
that
did have an
maybe-
Amazon account before?
Yeah, I had one that I must have used when I was at university.
Right, okay.
And before I developed a moral compass.
Nice. Really go for that. Really lean into it.
Yeah, you could say go into that vibe.
Yeah.
But
Make it sound like it's a moral thing, yeah.
I got my phone stolen, and so now I have complicated, like unrememberable passwords for anything.
How do you then remember all of your passwords? What do you do?
I have a password book.
You have a literal passbook?
It's physically written in a book.
Oh, that is delicious. So proper analogue bit of paper.
I've got two. I've got to have copies.
Is it in code so people can't just open the book and go, well, I've got all the passwords?
it's in the book because I've also got an authenticator app.
Oh, lovely.
So you'd have to know the password, and you'd have to have access to the authenticator app.
Right, okay.
But the passwords are so complicated that if I don't have the book, I can't log in to find it, which is why I couldn't log in to find my phone when I slipped off the roof of the car.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have my password to log into my iCloud. Because they were in my book, which is in storage.
Oh my
in
God.
London. So you'd have to be able to access.
There's a lot of loopholes to... God, your life is like a sort of huge escape room. And it's like once a year, your phones sort of kill themselves. They sort of throw themselves out of your life just to spice things up a little bit.
I do think it's the universe that is like, and it is terrifying.
There's something in that, definitely.
I remember when I was younger, when I was 21, I went to do this like bit of filming in Africa.
Right.
And I say Africa because it was across the continent. We started in Madagascar, I went to Ghana, we went to Kenya, I went to Ethiopia.
Wow. What was this for?
It was for, I did a TV show years ago called Blood, Sweat and Luxuries for BBC 3, I think it was.
Okay.
And anyway, so when I did the show, at the time, I think I had a Nokia. A Nokia 360 or whatever, like a classic Nokia. I was in Africa for 6 weeks, and so I had my phone off. I mean, roaming was not a thing back then.
Right,
If you want to speak to your mum,
yeah.
which I did a couple of times, we were allowed a certain amount of time at certain hotels.
Okay.
But otherwise, you wouldn't have access. Like, you wouldn't speak to anyone. There was no email. Like, you would not have, unless you were at a hotel, and in that hotel, you went onto a computer in the IT room of the hotel.
Yeah.
Or through your hotel phone, you called someone. There was no access to the internet. And I remember,
freeing or worrying? Was that a freeing
well,
feeling?
it wasn't freeing nor worrying because you didn't have the relationship you had to internet you had now.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was
The
not-
Pandora's box was still closed at that
It was
stage.
just like, I wouldn't even think about it. But to give you a sense of that, I was away for 6 weeks. I came back. I switched my phone on once I was on UK soil.
Yeah.
I had 4 text messages.
That is really tragic. Were a lot of them
From my mum and Domino's Pizza, and that was it.
Wow.
Because she'd forgotten I was away.
Oh my God.
And that was like it, because that's how much. I mean, I don't think that's just like reflective of like me having a bad social life. I think that was just like that is how
bad diet life as well. If Domino's Pizza are noticing that you're away, where are you, Tatty?
But that was what our phones meant to us then. Like they were not necessary.
Our phones served us then. We serve our phones now.
By the time I leave this room,
yeah,
and I'm switched, I like we'll be in here an hour. I'm addicted. I'm like, who's gonna have text me? I'll go from like WhatsApp to Instagram to TikTok to emails,
and then go loop round again. The time you spend on the other things, you're waiting for the first one to refresh and reboot with content.
If I was away for 6 weeks and the only notification I got was like my mum texting me,
I can't believe that. Was the mum text just like, where are you? She really cares, doesn't she? Where are you and where's my Domino's?
Probably no, Mum. It was like, hi. I was thinking that maybe in the kitchen I might decide to redo the wallpaper, and then it'd be, sorry, I've just sent you this, but I remembered that you're in Ethiopia. Sorry, I should be texting you because I've just realised it's probably costing you.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email, message me when you get to the hotel.
Classic
mum
text.
That will be it.
Yeah. Those long texts where you're like, this is a novel, and you don't reply to a novel. There's no, what do I say to this? This is a closed loop thought. Yeah. You don't need me in this. I get those all the time. Look, there's other things that you bought on this Amazon account.
Have I? Mm-hmm. Oh, God, really? What else?
30th of December 2021, as we get towards the end of 2021. It's the end of the year, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe, having some downtime. You bought the film Ida.
Wow. That's my end of the year downtime film.
Yeah, the best film winner at the 2013 BFI London Film Festival. It's an exquisitely shot moving drama.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Well, the reason why it's quite funny, I suppose, was I hungover? I must have been in quite a melancholy state of mind.
Okay, go on, tell me more.
Ida is by, what's that filmmaker's film? He's Polish. The film is in Polish.
Pawlowski
or something. Yeah, anyway, he's excellent. He's brilliant. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. And so my favourite
He doesn't know how to use colour, though, I would say. It's in black and white, so he's not that good.
All his films are.
Well,
so
he should know. There are colour films available now. So. FYI. But go on.
Cold War is my favourite film, which is his other film. I mean, one of his other films. And Ida was the one before then.
Okay.
So I loved Cold War, and I just was probably thinking, I'd quite like to watch that other film of his that I love called Ida.
Right.
And I probably would have looked for it for me to buy it on Amazon.
For $4.99?
For $4.99.
Which is a lot.
And was it a rental or a permanent buy?
Well, I think you've bought it. So I could actually download it right now. Yeah, you've actually purchased it. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, which I like. Huge fan of that.
Films should not be longer than that. I get really pissed off. So having said that, I did see The Count of Monte Cristo recently, the French one, and it was 3 hours long, and that was excellent.
Did you sit there for 3 hours?
3 hours, and I only checked my watch 20 minutes before the end.
That's excellent.
Excellent.
No toilet breaks?
No toilet breaks. But I did have a coughing fit and I had to leave the room, but I didn't want to because I was so engrossed in the story.
No.
Oppenheimer.
Yes, that's a long one, isn't it?
Oh, KMN. Honestly, awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being sat with my friend Danielle. At some point, she turned to me and she said, I don't think I can sit through another hour and a half of this. I just thought, what is wrong with you?
There is nothing worse than that moment where you pause a film and you see how long you've still got to go. Well, you should be able to do that there. Yeah. There should be some sort of counter that says, by the way, there's still absolutely
in
ages.
Germany, well, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to do cinema intervals. So
yes.
You stop the cinema, you have some ice cream, you have some popcorn.
They used to have to rewind the tapes back in the day.
Really?
Or to change the tapes, rather, to put the next... If a film was more than like an hour and 20 minutes long... So I remember this, I went to see Titanic at a cinema in Culford in the Forest of Dean, and I'm sure they had to stop it halfway through because it's quite long. And we had a break. You need it.
That's a nice idea, and also it could be something. If you were to bring that back, you would have to create. It'd be a fun thing to create films for that purpose.
I would create a film with a bit in the middle that's 7 minutes long, and go, just pause everything, and sort of have it built into the copy of the film so that people understand that after an hour and 25 minutes, hour and a half. There's this weird 7-minute interval where just some nice general shots of things in the area. Nothing too plotty, no conversation.
They're travelling somewhere, and we'll just have them travelling in real time for those 15 minutes
Yes.
to that place.
With a phone flying off the roof of a car.
Or you
drama.
build like you're doing a play. You build a dramatic crescendo.
Thank you.
And then you end, and then there's a break, and then you open up onto it. But you'd have to build cinema for that. So you'd have to write the film with that in mind.
That's quite a big ask. I'm not going to do that. I've got a lot on my plate.
Yeah,
if
fair
you want to
enough.
have that, that's absolutely yours.
Thank you.
That's yours for free as well.
I mean, I'm not a filmmaker. I mean, I can't make a short film, but anyway, that was I love this filmmaker, Sergio. I can't remember his second name. Powell Pawlowski. And
Sergio.
And Ida, I guess was it in that period between Christmas and New Year?
It's in the perineum of the year. Yeah,
Perineum of
totally.
the year. So I was in that Christmas perineum, and I guess it must
Bleak
have been
Christmas.
a cold, wet
21 was. I think that might have been the lockdown Christmas. 21. Certainly around then there was that because the second lockdown.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong there, but what? So you're feeling depressed? So you watched a depressing film? That's.
I don't think I would have known it was depressing yet because I hadn't watched it. But so the first one, and I don't want to go any spoilers, but Cold War is set. It's a beautiful black and white love story.
Yeah.
Set from sort of, is it the end, or I mean I haven't seen it enough, but it's set between Poland and Paris.
Okay.
And this very intense love story between a singer and a musician. And it's sort of like, is related to the war and sort of like having to sort of like hide and, all of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredibly exquisitely shot. But this couple fall in love and it's doomed, obviously. And then at the end...
Of course it's doomed. It's always doomed.
Yeah, I mean, Ida is incredibly... So Ida is about... Let me get this right without spoiling it so I can remember. It is about a young woman who is taking her vow to become a nun.
Right.
She was raised as an orphan in a convent.
Right.
And before you become a nun, it's a bit like when you're Amish.
You get a sort of free swim.
You get a free swim.
Uh-huh.
But in that free swim, what they reveal to her is that she's actually Jewish. So she's so Roman Catholic that she wants to become a nun, but the reason why she's raised in this orphanage is because her parents had to give her up to protect her in the war because she's Jewish.
Oh wow!
And so not only does she go on this mission to like find herself, to understand whether or not she wants to become a nun, as a woman, like is this what I want for myself, but also to sort of understand where she sits in terms of her Judaism and where her identity to herself. So it's a really beautiful film.
God, there's a lot in there.
There's a lot there, and it's in. I'm pretty sure it's in Poland, and so we've also got this like post-war country, and it's Soviet, and it's the shots are exquisite. They're both incredible films.
Okay, well that's a ringing endorsement.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
love that.
It's amazing. His work is incredible.
We love that recommendation. All right, so that is Ida.
Yeah.
Ida.
Don't ask me that. That I can't help.
No idea.
It's Polish, so I guess we want to. But that's the name of the girl.
Okay, fine. All right, Tatty. So look, excellent recommendation. And now what we discover is that the orders do tend to dry up a little bit. So
I don't think there's anything
what
else.
you've done is I've logged into your Amazon and you've placed 2 orders, and that's it. Past 3 months, nothing. Archived orders, there's nothing here. You've literally bought a hard drive and a sad Polish film. I mean,
What does that say about
for someone so
me?
colourful, it's very grey.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. You're getting you don't need to dwell in this grey world. You don't need to live on this online shopping world.
I mentioned this before, and I go back to it. I'm not an online shopper.
No, well, this is interesting. So, look, here's what I'd like to do.
I'm an analog shopper.
Yeah, good. Well, and I think I do think the direction of travel at the moment is back towards people getting into shops and buying stuff in the flesh.
Did this podcast start in the pandemic?
Just before.
Because people,
the pandemic went crazy.
Explosive time for online shopping.
Yeah.
Obviously not just because of access, but also drunk shopping is a thing. People love doing their drunk shop. I drunk shop in real life.
You actually get out of bed.
I drunk shop
stagger
in
onto the
person.
streets.
The other week I went out. I went to have some drinks with a friend of mine. We ended up sharing a bottle of rosé.
Lovely.
Which isn't loads, but it's enough to get me sort of a bit pissed. And then I wandered into TK Maxx and I bought a £268 Roxander wedding dress. I'm not engaged.
Wow.
I'm single. It was like a floor-length cream ivory silk wedding dress.
Imagine your next date, your first date. You could tell them halfway through the date, I've got the wedding dress ready. I'm good to go. Wow.
Yeah, and that was like, I could have gone home. And all
Did you try it on in the shop?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it was a fully thought out process. I was like, that's a really nice dress. Tried it on, looked beautiful. I was like, this is wonderful. But then I did take it back because once I sobered up a bit, I was like, where am I going to wear this? I don't even want to get married.
Right, okay. You got to find the right person.
No, I'm related.
Bearing in mind that that's what you do with spontaneous drunk shopping in the flesh, I think it's a great thing that you don't shop online too much, because if you did, you'd be bankrupt.
Do you know what? I have that, paralysis of choice. I find there's too much. So when I shop online, I tend to stick to but basically I only shop discount. Actually, that's a rule for life.
Yep.
I shop in TK Maxx.
Of course.
And I shop on the outlet.
Every story my wife tells me about something she's bought has to feature the words reduced to.
Reduced to.
Every single
Rock sanded dress, £268, reduced from £2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's my second wedding dress. First wedding dress I bought was...
so you have got 2 wedding dresses.
Well, no, I'd just taken back the second one.
The second one back,
I thought,
right.
calm down.
Did you sort of, how was that process, taking back a wedding dress? Did you put some tears on as if there's some terribly sad story in the background?
Do you know what? TK Maxx have seen everything. I don't know what I feel like that is... You could bring back a baby to TK Maxx. They'd be like, yeah, this is probably part of our stock.
Yeah, I didn't want this.
This was a limited edition.
Wrong size.
Put it in homeware. Like, I'm sure we'll sell it tomorrow. Like, they're so accustomed to, like, the total randomness of products you can find at TK Maxx.
Yeah.
They're so unfazed. I don't know what would shock them.
Taking a wedding dress back to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
After how long?
I think I had it a couple of weeks.
so definitely enough time to get married.
I really considered it. I was like, it is a nice dress. It does look nice on me. Will I wear it? And I just thought,
Did it look very wedding-y? Very bridal?
This was the thing. You can't get away. I even tried to rock it up.
Of course.
I took because it had this like shawly bit that was like attached at the back, and I tried to flip that over the front. I put like a studded belt around it.
All right, Avril Lavigne.
Whoa! Exactly, to make it a bit more rock.
Just a skater bride.
And because I was going to the Sky Arts Award the other week.
Okay.
So I thought that's an opportunity to dress up. Maybe this can be my...
I'm going to go, because I'm married to the arts. That would have been powerful.
Yeah, beautiful, exactly. All of that. Though I wasn't nominated and it felt like a little bit too much stealing the limelight. Do you know what I mean? I'm not presenting.
You're dressing as a bride and it's not your wedding, yes.
Yeah, precisely. It's not even like... I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure I was like very low down on the invite list, but a lot of people might have cancelled and then they just thought, who can we shoe in? An
invite's an invite.
Exactly, but play it a bit cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
don't dress as a bride.
To the wedding
and
you're not at the venue and you're not invited to the church, just a reception, you haven't got a +1.
Yeah.
Don't wear white. Do you know what I mean?
Fair,
just calm the fuck down. Anyway, but so I tried it on and there's a train.
It's got a train with it.
You can't escape the train.
Oh my God, you'd have to bring an entourage with you.
You can't.
Can you imagine asking Sky Arts for a +2? Because you got people have got to carry the train in.
If I just said to them, don't worry, they don't have to eat the food. Just let them squat next to me at the table. They can sit by my chair.
They're my page boys and girls. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. There was a train.
That's amazing. It had to go back.
It had to go back.
It's just great.
I couldn't in all good faith.
No.
A certain person could, I want to give it, certain people could make it look wonderful. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so it's gone back, but I kept the first one.
Listen, what I would like to do before we finish, because miraculously, despite only having 2 objects, we filled the time. We filled the air. I feel like we could just go on. What I'd like to do, if you're okay with this, is there's other things you can look at to tell the life story, although I feel like we know a lot already. So there's things like, and you say you don't online shop, for example, maybe Deliveroo. Do you do
yes.
it? Could we have a look? Could we see your Deliveroo account? Can I look at your Deliveroo app? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
As a share.
Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah. Do you want to check first and make sure there's nothing to, or do you want to just hand it over to me and let me browse?
No, I'm going to hand it. I'm happy for you to
okay.
Take
there are
it
cameras
browse.
and microphones here, though, so everything.
Well, I
happens...
don't see. No, but I'm laughing at it because I'm already laughing in my mind.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of apps.
Yeah, you could have, because also there's Uber as well, but it's my Deliveroo. I'm laughing. I tell you one thing that happened. Also, because the funny thing about Deliveroo, it doesn't just tell you your story in terms of what you ordered and what food you like.
Yeah.
It also tells you a lot about where your life is. Because I tell you, once I ordered a Deliveroo. Yeah. It's just linked to my account. I'm not even linked in. That's how long it's taken me. Wait, let me do it now.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like you're managing to hold a conversation whilst logging into something, which is genuinely impressive. That'll do it. Give it your face. Yeah.
Done. Couldn't log in. Please check your email and password.
Oh God, classic goes to email.
I once ordered a Deliveroo. I was on a date with someone.
Yeah.
And I ordered a Deliveroo,
Right.
and it didn't arrive, and it was so bizarre because I was at his house.
Wow.
And I think maybe it was our third date or something. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah.
And
you don't want a third date to see you hungry. That is.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd order the food, and I can't remember why, but I say he was obviously providing the booze or something, and it didn't arrive, and I was like, oh, for God's sake, like, what's going on?
When do you reveal to a new, lover, the side of you? Because that is a really unsexy side of you.
Oh, day one.
Okay.
Oh, but I've got French in me. I'm just like,
okay.
Bring it out for early doors. You've got to be able to deal with the fact that I get pissed off, and I get pissed off easily.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, more to the point, what happened was it had been delivered, and I was there going, why has it been delivered?
Someone else's.
My ex-boyfriend's flat. My pizza that I was having on a date with a new man after a breakup had got delivered to my ex. Can you imagine?
That's sensational.
Can you just imagine my ex-boyfriend? Like, can you imagine just being like, what's the message?
Did he just eat it then?
We could probably find what it is. I don't know. He didn't message me about it.
Oh my God.
Let me see which one it was.
Oh, imagine
I've got 38 orders. It was a while back. This would have
Hit
been
me.
during the pandemic, if you can find it. But it was a pizza. Can you imagine?
Look at this.
Like,
We've never done delivery before. This is very exciting.
If an ex-boyfriend, if I got a meal delivered, if I got a Deliveroo from an ex-boyfriend, I would read so much into it. I'd be like, why is he sending me Greek?
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean? Is it because of that time we went to Corfu? Like, what's he trying to say?
What memory is he trying to trigger?
Yeah, exactly.
What's he trying to say about me?
Why has he sent me a hot dog? Like, does he think I'm a dick? Like, I don't know. Like, what? You could read so much into it. You just
What's
like,
the most offensive food you'd send to an ex? Surely it's just like just lots of burgers.
Imagine they're allergic to fish. And you're
sushi.
just like, here's sushi. You'd just be like, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah,
you know, exactly.
yeah.
Like, it just...
God,
there's so
there's
much
so many
in it.
ways to offend people, isn't it
So
brilliant?
many.
It's just so much fun. So look,
Also fuck with them.
of course, you can go right back here. You can go to your Wagamama in November 2019. Here you go.
Right, so
lovely.
Yeah.
You got
Wagamama
this
2019.
Yeah, you gone for a teriyaki, a chicken teriyaki.
Where was I living at that time?
Streets. In 2019, or maybe you weren't living there.
I don't know who that is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that is my ex-boyfriend's flat.
Right, there you go.
Let's not say that out loud.
Fine, I'll cut that out.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
fine. So that's a delivery with your ex-boyfriend at this stage.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Were you with him then going into the Panny D? Did you have...
We broke up just the beginning, first month of Panny D.
Wow.
No, we broke.
Good thing or bad thing?
No, well, yeah, good thing because I didn't want to be. I just moved in with him. Basically, I moved in with him. Then I went to, God, I hope he doesn't this because it's terrible, but I moved in with him. Then I went to New York and Chicago for 5 weeks to do some like comedy courses.
Okay.
And it was on that trip that I realised that we were not right for each other.
God, you found your clown and you also found that you didn't want to be with him.
Yeah,
What a
and
thing.
it was totally the right decision. Do you know what I mean? And then when I came back, we broke up. And then I moved in with my sister into her attic bedroom,
Right.
who just had another baby, and she was like living. And I said to her, "Oh, I'll be here literally just like 2 weeks until I can move into my other flat." My friend had this room going, but I had to wait for that person to move out. Just the usual like house share.
I won't be in the
movings
loft
and
for long. Those vibes.
I won't be in the loft for long.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened.
Wow.
At the time, my work was comedy, but I wasn't making a living out of that. My day job was a tour guide.
No way. Where were
Yeah.
you doing that?
Oh, everywhere. Windsor, Bath and Stonehenge.
Right.
London, Stonehenge and the Cotswolds, Oxford and Cambridge.
Nice places.
Buckingham Palace.
Oh, classic.
Obviously,
No,
I'm showing they're tourists. I'm going to show
No,
them
but
good bits.
tour-
Let's take
yeah.
to Luton. What do you think the trip's going to be? Portsmouth and Luton.
Swindon has had a long and varied history. You know, it just there's a good. There are bad places you can go and do history guides too, like in inner London and stuff. Inner city London, interesting, but not. You know, those places are quite glam. It's quite nice to go off to the Cotswolds.
Yeah,
call
it could
work.
be, except that actually you wanted the London jobs because it's extremely exhausting to do the day trips.
Oh, on
on
a bus.
Yeah, 12 hours at least.
Oh Lord.
So all of that stopped in the pandemic.
So you're living in your sister's loft.
Yeah.
She's got kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
The pandemic happens. I lose my job as a tour guide.
Yes.
No longer have an income. can't move into my friend's flat. And so I stayed with my sister during the whole pandemic.
The whole...
Yeah, and she was lovely about it. And I like to think that I helped a bit, but she was just like very generous, let me stay there.
How old are the kids at this stage?
The youngest wasn't even a year old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, but I loved it. It was
great.
such a nice time to spend with my nieces. I couldn't have had a better, in that sense, pandemic.
Yeah.
I moved in with her. Yeah.
Right. Okay, fine. So you're in the loft in 2020. What else have we got here? Salvation and Noodles.
Yeah.
April 2021. There you go. £36. But you had a voucher. So it only costs £21.
Great.
You had a £15 voucher. Great gift. That went to Lordship Park, that one.
Yeah, that's where I used to live. That's where I lived for a while.
Mate, can I just congratulate you on Honest Burgers? I bloody love Honest Burgers.
Yeah?
Oh, God, I love an Honest
I've had one
Burger.
of those in a while.
Well, you got yourself a vegan burger and chips.
When?
November the 30th, 2021. But this went to This was in
that
W5.
was at my sister's. I tell you what the thing is, you know what I developed when in the last place I lived near a yard sale pizza.
Oh yeah, that's near me. I've got one of those near me.
And I love that. And so basically, it's as if it feeds into this. I don't like online ordering. So so my preference is to order over the phone.
Okay.
So I order my yard sale over the phone.
Are you sure you're not 55?
Because equally, I'm not big on texting. I'm a caller.
Yeah, I love that. Do you do voice notes?
Massively.
Little mini podcasts.
But even when I'm dating someone, I'm quite big on calling them quite early doors. Like I don't like texting people. I can't do, like if you're early doors of dating someone, people would do think, we were like on WhatsApp for 3 hours last night. I'm not interested.
No.
It's like I don't want to text you conversation. I can't be bothered. It's like I will text someone to be like, hey, shall we go for a drink?
Yeah.
Let's meet on that date at that time. And if it's 5 days away, I won't speak to you for 5 days.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk when we see. And then if you want to speak in between, I'll call you.
You're in the wrong era.
Maybe.
You are.
I'm a 90s child. I don't
know.
You're
a 90s kid, seriously. It's unbelievable.
So with what happened with my Deliveroo is it really dropped off a cliff because I got into yard sale. And the fact that I could call yard sale
lovely.
was all I wanted. So I just called them all the time.
The problem I always have with calling for a takeaway is their attention to detail when it comes to audio technology. I get very upset by how little they can hear me. Every time I phone them, I ordered one the other day and I was like, no, oh God. An allergy, like they didn't hear a word I was saying. It was so annoying. Yeah, I was on speakerphone in my kitchen. Everyone was laughing at me because I was getting cross, and apparently me getting cross is funny.
Speakerphone though?
My speakerphone was fine. Their speakerphone was, something was going on. Everything I said, they were like, what? Every single time. And then the answer, it's for Price, the name's Price. And when I got in, I think the name, it was like, it was just a completely different name.
You are sounding very right wing again.
These bloody people, they come over here and they don't have good speakers on their phones.
I have never had any problems. Yard sale, great. They've even got my account details. They've got my card details in the system.
Oh my God.
They know where I live. They know me by name. You call up, you say, can I get the whatever, the one with the broccoli and the pine nuts on, aubergine, whatever.
The
and they
nice.
say like, great. And I say, can I get the holy fuck vegan mayo with it? They're
Yeah,
like,
oh God, that's
great.
good.
And then it's like sorted.
Look, before we finish, because it does have to end at some stage, right? Tatty, I feel like we've learned a lot about you.
I feel really bad for the people listening to this podcast who come here for the concept, and I've basically revealed 2 things about me.
Oh, you've revealed a lot more than 2 things.
Okay,
don't you worry about that. It's fine. There's many headlines here. And it's interesting. It was a really interesting thing about identity in Paris and London and all this sort of stuff, and, being born in Zimbabwe. And I feel like the way that we're going to get the sort of clearest focus on you, the way we're going to leave this knowing exactly who you are, is by celebrating what I would suggest is the poshest Deliveroo order I've ever seen in my life.
What did I get?
You're not allowed to interrupt any of these things as I list them off, okay?
Oh my God.
You just have to sit there
Oh my God.
and listen to this, right? You get Deliveroo to indulge something a bit oily, do you know what I mean? Something a bit greasy. Not Tatty MacLeod. Waitrose #1, natural strained Greek yogurt. Oatly oat milk. Waitrose sourdough crumpets. Gale's white sourdough. Waitrose #1, 49% Dominican Republic milk chocolate. The carbon footprint of this order. Lindt, it goes on. Lindt Excellence milk chocolate bar. Pop chips, barbecue crisps. You can't even get Doritos like everyone else. Essential She's gone essential, guys.
Essential.
Cutting back.
Excuse me.
Seville orange marmalade thick cuts. Waitrose strawberry preserve. And then finally, essential cosmetic pads.
When was that?
December the 1st, 2021.
I think there's another Waitrose order on there.
I mean, what? Okay. I'm happy to
December 2021.
Do you have anything to say in mitigation for my
I don't think that's that bad.
putting to you that it's...
I actually think that's...
You have given one star to Sushi Point, though, I would say, interestingly, on the October the 12th.
Is there no other Waitrose order on there?
No, that's the only Waitrose
order. Or maybe it's on
order.
Uber Eats then. I don't think that's that bad. Yeah, I definitely do, but that's also a French thing. That's a French thing to buy nice things, expensive things, food-wise. Spend a lot of money on food.
Yes, the French defence is a good one for you, isn't it? That works very well.
Run to it,
You can
whatever.
really do anything.
Anything.
No, it's a French thing.
Oh my God, it's like,
Whatever.
if you're blunt to someone, you
Yeah.
have their feelings, you say, it's the French
Just
in
hit
me.
my child.
I'm not even
French thing.
biologically French.
No, you've got nothing to
Just-
do with the place. You've just been there a bit. I've been there. Also, interesting to see, like, how much you've spent on
Don't say things like
Deliveroo. Well, I can see the really expensive ones. Yak and Yeti, very nice.
Very nice.
£53.
Yeah, what an indulgence.
That's a heck of a lot, that is. That's a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
Rose's tie. I like Rose's tie and Crouch End.
I don't like that anymore. I don't
So
like
funny.
that.
Listen, I feel like I need to sort of... I'm just so fascinated looking through. By the way, you're looking at me now. I'm on your phone. I'm nowhere near your Deliveroo now. I'm just having a look
You
through
can go
WhatsApp.
onto the Outnet. I buy things on the Outnet.
Oh, what's the out? Okay, hang on. Let's find Outnet. O-U-T.
Yeah. Or let me have a look, because there might be another order. Yeah, so there's an Outnet. You can have a look at that. But there might
Okay.
be one on Uber that
This
you
is
might...
great. All right, fine. We'll keep going. This is great. Excellent. Added
because-
content. Added bonus content.
No, only because
I
I'm
do think-
conscious that... Oh,
I do think the waitress order was...
a nice place to end this.
No. It's... But,
Let's have
she's
a
going
look.
into Uber Eats.
Because I'm sure... And I want to use it. Okay. Maybe later. Let's see. What have I ordered on here? Orders. Past orders.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty in Uber Eats.
Yeah, there are a few.
Let's see. Show me.
But nothing that exciting. Oh, I ordered some stuff in Germany once there.
Let's have a look. Where is that?
Past items.
I love that when you've got Uber and you're abroad and you can just use Uber abroad. It's
Yeah.
so good.
But I thought there was another.
Past items.
Oh, let me go on Waitrose. There we go.
Oh,
You wanna
my
go?
giddy aunts. Come
Oh,
on.
wait. Do Waitrose do orders? Is it Ocado?
Ocado, have you got Ocado on there? You can't go back in Ocado because I looked into that for something else. Ocado only do like your last order, which we could do.
Really? No, I've definitely. Let me see if I can remember. We don't recognise forgotten your password.
Oh no,
Sending.
she's having the passwords have been forgotten and she hasn't got the password book because that's in storage. So, Dave, if you're working at the big yellow storage,
Facility.
if you could just nip into room 3962.
And just finds my passwords for me. Let's have a look. I am. It's funny because I do acknowledge that I've got that real sort of. There's a real old lady vibe to me.
No, don't. In all seriousness, I love it. You need to be so proud of the fact you haven't fallen for this grift. We're all hooked on this online nipple, and you don't do it. It's brilliant. Like you are properly. You're as close as we can get to a hippie. You're a modern hippie.
Well, no, because I spend so much time on social media. No, it's going to have to be the Outnet.
Let me have a look. Let's have
Yeah.
a look at Outnet.
But I'm going to be embarrassed by just clothes.
Well, fine. Let's look at clothes.
Yeah.
What is the Outnet? Why is it so good?
So basically, the Outnet is discounted high fashion.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
The
it's expensive
Outnet.
stuff that's discounted. I mean, if you thought my Waitrose order was posh, you see what I've got in there.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a look, shall we, and see what.
And I am one of those people, Hugh, if it's discounted
Yeah.
for the it's reason enough to buy it, regardless of whether I like it or if it's practical.
So, do you think that the wedding dress, the reason you got it is just because it was such a fabulous discount?
Yes,
So if the discount was irrelevant and wasn't a factor, you probably wouldn't have got it.
absolutely.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's a French thing. Don't worry about it.
No, it's-
Don't worry about it. It's
Do
a
you know
French
what?
thing.
To be
Don't
fair
worry
to
about
the French, if there's one thing that it's not
Boo.
French.
it. They don't know
It's
what
the
they
least
discount.
French. That is 100% a British thing, or just a me thing. I don't know.
So, annoyingly, when you look at the purchase history, it all says we cannot retrieve all the product information at this time.
No, there must be somewhere you can.
Yeah, I can see a few things. So November 2022, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I have, for the benefit of the tape, not sneezed on your phone. You're welcome.
Good to know. Thank you.
You've bought some Whitney leather loafers.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. £70, RRP £130. That's 60% off.
That's a good discount. This is kind of stuff I'm talking about.
I love a loafer. Very nice indeed. And then more recently, January 2023.
What did I buy?
Let's have a look.
I think a lot of it must have been returned.
Ancient Greek sandals.
I returned those.
Really?
Yeah.
Hard to return a sandal.
No, just don't wear it.
Just don't wear it. Oh, okay,
Give it the box, send it back.
It can't. It's not showing me what else the other.
Do you know where's an exciting place to online shop? TK Maxx. And I tell you for why.
Do you do that a lot then?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have an account on TK Maxx.
Yeah. Okay. But can I just say, sorry to interrupt
What
you.
have you found?
I've just seen how many unread emails you've got. Because I'm not going through your emails, obviously, but I can just see the app for
Did
emails.
You see how many unread WhatsApps I've got?
Well, it's not that bad at the moment. It's only on 3.
Oh.
You've got unread emails. You've got 72,719.
Of course.
And now we're going to go through every single one. Strap in, guys.
No.
Red. Wow.
That's normal, I think, isn't it?
72,000.
In WhatsApps, I've got, obviously not 70,000, but I've got 31 unread WhatsApps.
Oh, God. Oh, I love it. Tatty, look, thank you so much for coming and doing My Mate Bought a Toaster. This has been fascinating because we've learned loads about you. We've learned that the format doesn't always require Amazon purchase history. Sometimes you can just go for a wander elsewhere.
Yeah, or you go to my Ubers.
Yeah.
Like Ubers.
You can always blame your French heritage for any of your character flaws. That's
that
a very
is an important message I want everyone to know.
We've learned how to be Parisian.
Even when you don't have a French heritage, you can blame your French heritage.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy peasy. Tatty, gigs wise, so what are you doing at the moment? So obviously you do stand up, you do all your stuff on the internet as well.
Yeah.
What's taking up most of your time at the moment? Are you gigging at the moment?
It's a split. So I'm on tour.
Okay.
I'm on tour.
Come on.
That. So I'm going to. When is this podcast going to come out?
I don't really know yet. I'm not sure. Happy Christmas, guys. I don't know, honestly. It just depends on my whims. When are you touring? Tell us the dates when you're touring.
So my tour starts on the 5th of October. I'm going to Liverpool, which has not sold great. So if anyone's in Liverpool, please come to that. If this has come out pre that, and if not, I've got 2 dates in Bristol in October, but those are sold out. And
this is your hour show, right?
My hour-long show called Fugue, which is all about growing up in France and having that split identity and about the French and about the English. And it's my second leg of it. So the first leg was all through the beginning of the year, January, Feb, March.
Yes.
That sold out.
Okay.
And now I'm sort of like taking it back on tour again. So I'm going to be in London, but that one's sold out. But, lots of availability in Brighton, Bath, Nottingham, Durham.
And the Insta, all the places. Oh, my God. The Insta is Tatty MacLeod. How do you...
Yeah, Tatty.MacLeod.
Okay.
That's what I am on Insta. And I'm also going on tour in Europe next year.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm also doing some dates in Paris. So, yeah, if you like me and my stuff, then come see me on tour. That's, I suppose, the main plug I'm doing at the moment is the tour.
Physically take yourself there. Take a tatty approach to this. Stop doing everything clicky with your thumbs. Physically take yourself out, get drunk, and then buy the wedding dress, but sort of watching stand-up version of the wedding dress.
Do you know what I would do? I would call up the venue to book the tickets.
Oh my God, that is... If I called a venue to try and book a ticket for a gig, they would just be like, what?
I do it all the time.
Like this. It's me. I love it.
They have a box office.
But I love it. And it's more power to you. We need this.
I don't do online reservations. I call up restaurants to reserve tables. I call them up. I'm like, what's your availability? Can I get to it for this time?
Have you always done this?
Yes.
And is this unusual with all your friends and stuff? Do they think you're mad?
Yes. They're like, well, I don't think it goes that far because you're not going to be exposed to it. But they find it really funny, the yard sale pizza thing, when I'm just like, should we get a pizza? And they watch me call up.
Hi, Dan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah. He's got my credit cards.
What is she doing? Why are you doing this? And I'm just like, oh no, this is how I work. And it is very much in a dating pool. It's very much a dividing line of if you're someone who does texts or phone calls, and I'm a phone call kind of person.
I feel like there is some sort of book that you should write about this. I feel like this is a whole philosophy of life, taking things back to the phone call.
It's a personality thing, and I don't know what that personality is.
Yeah.
But for me, it gets on with it. There's something I like. I'm very much a call up direct. In all situations, I'll just call them up.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, just give them a call. You want to know if they've got that dress in stock? Just call up the store.
All those phone companies who do infinite minutes, unlimited minutes, no one's using minutes anymore. They're looking at going, holy shit, who's this MacLeod woman? She's nearly reached the limit of fair usage. She's on the brink of fair usage.
She's using those minutes. Oh, I called up for everything. I called up cinemas.
Great. If you want to go see Tatty MacLeod live, give her a call. 07932 Tatty, thanks for coming on the show. You're a superstar.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
It's my made water toaster. Oh, it's my made water toaster. Yeah, my made water toaster. Oh, toaster for my love.